Bella, a beautiful golden retriever, had been a cherished member of Sarah's family for over 4 years. She was always the life of the household, greeting everyone with boundless energy, and was known for her sweet temperament and affectionate nature. Bella had always been a healthy, happy dog, and when Sarah first noticed subtle signs of pregnancy, it seemed like the next natural step in their journey together. Bella had become more reserved in recent weeks, nesting in corners of the house, and Sarah had noticed her appetite changing. As Bella's belly grew, Sarah excitedly prepared for the arrival of her puppies, setting up a cozy, quiet corner of the house and keeping track of Bella's progress with regular visits to the vet, Dr. Jameson. The veterinarian had confirmed the pregnancy, noting that Bella seemed healthy and on track for a normal birth. Sarah was excited but also anxious, as this was her first time preparing for a dog's birth, and she wanted everything to go perfectly. Weeks went by, and Bella's pregnancy appeared to be progressing normally. However, when the time finally came for Bella to give birth, things took a turn that no one could have predicted. Bella began showing signs of distress. Her belly was noticeably larger, and she seemed uncomfortable. However, there was no sign of active labor, no pawing at the ground, no panting, and no sign of the typical behaviors that signal that a dog is about to give birth. Sarah grew increasingly concerned, watching Bella pace around the room, looking as though she was searching for something but not able to find relief. As the days passed, Bella continued to refuse to give birth, and Sarah's worry escalated. Bella's discomfort seemed to worsen, but still, no puppies appeared. Finally, after nearly a week of this strange behavior, Sarah decided to take Bella to Dr. Jameson for a thorough examination. She had a feeling that something was seriously wrong, and after seeing Bella's distress, she knew that waiting any longer could be dangerous. Dr. Jameson was a trusted veterinarian who had cared for Bella for years, and Sarah was hopeful that he would have answers. When Sarah arrived at the clinic with Bella, Dr. Jameson immediately noticed the dog's unusual behavior. Bella wasn't acting like a typical pregnant dog about to give birth. She was calm, almost lethargic, and there was no indication of the usual pre-labor signs. After a brief examination, Dr. Jameson decided to perform an ultrasound, hoping to get a better idea of what was going on inside Bella's body. As the ultrasound machine hummed to life and the gel was applied to Bella's stomach, Dr. Jameson began scanning for signs of puppies. Sarah anxiously waited for the results, hoping to hear good news. But as the seconds ticked by, Dr. Jameson's expression began to change. Sarah noticed his eyes widened slightly, and he adjusted the ultrasound probe, as if trying to get a clearer picture. A few moments later, he slowly turned the screen toward Sarah. "Sarah," Dr. Jameson said, his voice low and filled with concern, "this doesn't make sense." Sarah's heart skipped a beat. "What do you mean?" she asked, fear creeping into her voice. Dr. Jameson took a deep breath before continuing. "There are no puppies in Bella's womb," he said quietly. "I don't see anything." The words hung in the air, heavy with disbelief. Sarah's mind raced. How could this be? She had seen the signs of pregnancy. Bella's belly had grown, her appetite had changed, and she had even become more protective of her space. But now, the ultrasound revealed that there was nothing inside Bella's abdomen, no sign of any puppies whatsoever. It didn't make sense. Dr. Jameson repeated the ultrasound, hoping for a different result, but the image on the screen remained the same. Bella's uterus was empty. She was no longer pregnant. Confusion and fear washed over Sarah, and she felt a wave of panic rising in her chest. But how could this be?" Sarah stammered. "She was pregnant. I've been watching her closely." Dr. Jameson paused, looking at the screen again, still unsure what had happened. "I'm not sure," he said. "This is highly unusual. I've never seen anything like this before. There's no indication that Bella ever had puppies inside her at all." Dr. Jameson's voice dropped even lower, almost as if he was speaking to himself. "This doesn't make sense. We need to get the authorities involved." Sarah was stunned. "The authorities?" she asked, confused. "Why would we need the police?" Dr. Jameson looked up, his face a mixture of concern and realization. "Sarah, something isn't right here. I think this may be part of something much larger, something illegal." Sarah was floored by his words. Illegal? What was he talking about? She had brought Bella in for what she thought was a routine pregnancy checkup, not expecting anything like this to happen. But Dr. Jameson's serious tone made it clear that something sinister was going on. He told Sarah that he suspected there could be a larger criminal operation at play, something that involved more than just Bella's situation. With that, Dr. Jameson called the police. It didn't take long for Detective Carter and a team of officers to arrive at the clinic. Sarah was still in a state of shock as she tried to process what had just happened. The police interviewed her about Bella's condition, asking detailed questions about her pregnancy, the signs Sarah had seen, and when she had first suspected something was wrong. Detective Carter seemed skeptical at first, but agreed to launch an investigation when he learned about Dr. Jameson's concerns. We've seen strange things happen before, but this is different, Detective Carter said. We'll need to look into it further. Over the next few days, the authorities began investigating the case. Detective Carter and his team spoke with other local veterinarians and pet owners, trying to find out if there were any other similar cases of dogs appearing to be pregnant, but ultimately having nothing inside them. It didn't take long for the investigation to uncover a disturbing pattern. Other dogs in the area had been affected by the same phenomenon. Dogs that seemed pregnant but were found to have empty wombs after ultrasounds. The authorities soon uncovered a horrifying truth. It turned out that Bella's case was part of a much larger, hidden operation. A local black market breeding ring was secretly implanting fake pregnancies in female dogs for the purpose of exploitation. The people running the operation were injecting hormones into the dogs, causing them to display signs of pregnancy, even though there were no puppies present. These fake pregnancies were used to lure in buyers who wanted puppies, but in reality, the dogs weren't actually carrying any at all. The operation was making money off the false promise of puppies, exploiting the animals and deceiving potential pet owners. Authorities raided a breeding facility suspected to be behind the scheme, and what they found was chilling. Dozens of dogs, including Bella, had been subjected to this cruel process. Many of the dogs had been kept in poor conditions, subjected to harmful procedures, and manipulated for profit. The people responsible for the operation were arrested, and Bella, along with other rescued dogs, was placed in a safe, loving home. Bella's story became a national news sensation, drawing attention to the darker side of the pet industry. The case sparked widespread outrage and led to calls for stricter regulations on breeding practices and increased awareness of animal cruelty. Sarah, along with animal rights groups, worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the illegal breeding practices that almost cost Bella her health and well-being. Bella's case became a symbol of resilience, showing that even in the face of cruelty, there could be hope for a better future. Bella recovered physically and emotionally, and she found a new, loving family that would cherish her for the rest of her days. The case also prompted new legislation that aimed to crack down on illegal breeding operations, providing stronger protections for animals and holding offenders accountable. Though Bella's ordeal was harrowing, it ultimately led to positive change in the world of animal welfare, highlighting the importance of vigilance, compassion, and the willingness to stand up against animal cruelty. Bella's story didn't just end with her rescue. It served as a beacon for other animals who might be trapped in similar situations, reminding us all of the responsibility we have to protect and care for the creatures who rely on us. As for Sarah, she never stopped being grateful for Bella's safe return. She had learned a valuable lesson about the power of speaking up, the importance of being proactive when it comes to animal welfare, and the need for continuous education about the exploitation that can often occur behind closed doors. Bella's legacy lived on, not only in Sarah's heart, but in the hearts of countless others who rallied together to make the world a safer place for all animals.